What's going on, everyone? Today's pretty exciting because we're talking about future sets. So in the Zendikar Rising sort of release some doohickey thing, the preview stream, they announced all the new sets, and here they are. These are all the sets, well, most of the sets, the sets that we know about so far, but we have all the sets from 2021. The top track are the main standard sets. The bottom track are like these supplementary sets like Conspiracy and Battle Bond, the extra sets that aren't in standard. We're not going to be talking about those too much, but we have Time Spiral Remastered, which actually is pretty exciting because Time Spiral was really fun. If you like jank, Time Spiral was crazy. Really fun environment, really fun set. And we have Modern Horizons, which, I have reservations about those sets, but whatever. Not talking about those in this video. We're talking about the top track, which are the standard sets. And we have some pretty interesting things. So we have Kaldheim, Strixhaven. We have a Dungeons and Dragons set, which is interesting, particularly because that should be a core set. So instead of having a core set in Q3, we have this Dungeons and Dragons set. I don't know if it's still going to work as a core set, like if it's basically a core set but with a Dungeons and Dragons theme, or if it's just replacing the core set. But we have this Dungeons and Dragons themed set, and then we're going back to Innistrad. So first off, Kaldheim is a snowy Viking set. Now, I'm using the term Viking because that's the word they said. I don't know if this is going to be Scandinavian themed, like with Scandinavian history and the mythology, right? The gods. I don't know if we're going to be seeing Odin and stuff, or if it's going to be more fantasy, because they used the word Viking, right? They specifically didn't say Scandinavian history, but they also could have said Viking just because it's more like user-friendly and Scandinavian history might confuse people. But suffice it to say, we have Vikings, we have snow, and we've actually seen this plane on a plane chase card. There's not much to see really. We just see snow and Vikings or dwarves, we don't really know. But notably, they do have the horned helmets, so we might be a little bit more into the fantasy realm. There's kind of opposite extremes where this sort of set can go. We have things like Theros, which are like direct interpretations of the real world location, right? Like we have Heliod is Zeus, obviously. Thassa is clearly Poseidon. Erebos is Hades. Like we get that, right? It's very clearly like tit for tat the same. Whereas like Kaladesh was kind of themed after like some Indian or surrounding regions, like architecture and whatnot, but the mythology and stuff and the real world location's not really there. So it's hard to say where this is going to be on the scale of that. I would expect it to be more in the realm of Theros, but yeah, it remains to be seen. It's going to be curious though. I'm most curious if this is going to be the return of snow permanents. I have to assume so. It's hard to imagine that they will do a snow set and not snow permanents. We haven't had snow permanents in a very long time. I mean, technically we had them in Modern Horizons, but we haven't had a snow set in standard since Cold Snap, which was also, by the way, close to around the time that Time Spiral was released, so that's kind of fascinating. We have Time Spiral Remastered and also a new snow set. So yeah, Vikings, snow, expect that. That's going to be the winter set after Zendikar Rising. After that, we have Strixhaven, School of Mages. This one's interesting. I think people have a very incorrect impression of what this set's going to be. So the obvious connection that people are making are with Harry Potter, right? It's a magical school. But the thing is, the idea of magical schools goes beyond Harry Potter. Obviously, that popularized it and it's become a pop culture phenomenon, but realistically, we've had magic schools in Magic. We have Tolarian Academy, right? Tolarian Academy is a magic school, so it's not like it's going to be Harry Potter and Magic. I mean, it is going to be a school setting, but we've had that in Magic. Like, look at all these cards. Technically, all of these cards could be in Strixhaven. These could very well be Strixhaven cards, not literally, but the imagery is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting stuff to look similar to this. And mechanically, it seems interesting. So here's the tweet that Magic the Gathering put out about it, and they say that it's a premier university of the multiverse featuring 5 colleges battling out for their own takes on Magic. And what's interesting about this, first off, I'm kind of confused by the whole college university thing. Aren't they the same thing? We call it college in the US, but isn't it known? It's the same thing, right? No 100% about that, but regardless, I assume what this means is we're going to have a major monocolor theme. We're going to have 5 schools. I'm assuming that the division is going to be based on color, right? There's going to be a green school, there's going to be a black school, there's going to be a blue school, so on and so forth. And I assume that means we're going to have like a really hard push towards monocolor, right? Think of cards like this, right? Monocolor matters, lots of pips right? Lots of red symbols, lots of black symbols, lots of blue symbols, all of the symbols, because I do find that when sets with really hard monocolor themes are in standard, there's a lot more deck diversity because you obviously have all the decks that are reaching into as many colors as possible, but you also guarantee or kind of guarantee that there's at least a really good monocolor deck in each color. And obviously it depends on the strengths and weaknesses of the cards and whatnot, but I find this interesting. I think people are a little bit too, they're focusing too hard on the Harry Potter-esque thing, right? That's, it's gotta be Harry Potter and magic. I don't think that's quite it. I'm expecting stuff like this again. I'm expecting, again, it's colleges, so it's gonna be adults. People are picturing like young Harry Potter and magic. These are universities, right? So just think of Tolarian Academy, think of stuff like that and magic. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing. Now, there is a chance that maybe there's going to be a Harry Potter tie-in. I don't doubt that there will be Harry Potter references, just like we had Shark Typhoon and Ikoria, right? So I fully expect references for sure. But I think generally speaking, it's going to be a lot different than people are imagining. And I think I'm most excited about the set than the others just because it's interesting. If you guys saw my video like this last year, when they released this graphic last year, I put it straight to Ikoria and said, that's the set I'm most excited about because I have no clue what it is. I have no clue what it looks like. I have no clue what's going on. Throne of Eldraine, we get it. Fairy Tales. Zendikar, we've been there. Core sets, whatever. Ikoria was the one where I was like, holy crap, what is this? I have no idea what it is. I'm super excited. Apparently, I'm very driven by curiosity because once again, Strixhaven, I can have a rough idea of what it looks like. I'm guessing if it is color-based, then the green school is going to have lots of trees and druids, and the blue school is going to be very scholarly, and the red school is going to have lots of fire and pyromancy. I get it. It's probably going to be like that, but because this is the most unique sounding world, and it's a world that I've never seen, and I don't exactly know what it's going to look like, I'm very excited about this one, much in the same way that I was for Ikoria. Not necessarily because the idea of a school of mages excites me. I actually like the sort of Viking theme better, but just because I have no clue what this is, that has me the most intrigued. I'm really curious what this is going to look like, and so I'm the most excited for this, ironically. And then we have the Dungeons and Dragons set. I've seen people also groaning about this because it's a tie-in, but keep in mind, Wizards of the Coast makes both Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. It's a fantasy theme, so it's like it fits perfect. And we've already done a tie-in in the other direction, right? There was a Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering themed adventure-y thing. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, so excuse me, I'm going to sound like an idiot here. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's going to be a pretty cool fantasy themed set. This could reinforce the Zendikar Rising themes. We have this party mechanic that cares about assembling a party. Sounds perfect for a D&D themed set. So I imagine that theme's going to be reinforced with the D&D set. And like I mentioned earlier, I have no idea why there isn't a core set. I assume this is going to work as a core set. Although, maybe the School of Mages works as a core set. That kind of makes sense, right? If it is monocolored themed, then can you have Planeswalker decks based on each school? If it is a School of Mages, doesn't it make sense that that's, you know, they gear that towards teaching new players? Is Strixhaven the core set, or is this the core set? I don't know. There isn't a core set, but I have to imagine one of them is going to sort of function as a core set with simpler cards and Planeswalker decks and stuff, but I don't know. But D&D and Magic seems fine to me. I don't know enough about D&D to be like super excited about it because I've never played D&D, but from a thematic perspective, I think it's fine. I think it has the potential to be pretty cool. And then we have two sets, actually. We have Innistrad, Werewolves, and Vampires. And here's a quick picture of the tweet. My first instinct was, oh, they're just going to make them half the size and then split it in two. But they said in their tweet that actually they couldn't fit everything into one set, so we're going to get two sets. Now, assuming that's not like hyperbole and they're not just talking out of their butts, because they could be, but if that's the case, then we're not going to get two half sizes. Maybe they're like 3/4 the size of a regular set, or 60% of the size of a regular set, or maybe they are just two full sets, who knows. But yeah, we have Innistrad. We are going back to Innistrad, and apparently they're dividing it into werewolves and vampires, which is weird because what about the zombies and the angels and stuff? Like, we're missing some stuff here. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions about this, right? There are more creature types than werewolves and vampires in Innistrad. There's also, we have the question of Emrakul is in the moon of Innistrad. Does this mean the return of Eldrazi? What's going to come of that? And there's also a chance that maybe this is just going to be like a 3-block set, and you know, there's going to be a zombie set after this, but it's next year, so it's not technically counting on this graph. But whatever the case, we're returning to Innistrad. If you liked Innistrad, we're going back. By the way, I didn't mention, these set names aren't final. You might see that in the bottom corner of the image. They're just calling this for now. They're temporary placeholder names. So maybe they're calling it werewolves and vampires for now, but technically there's going to be all of them and all. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the creature types. Really weird, because zombies are the best. Zombies are my favorite. But yeah, Innistrad. So those are the sets for 2021, guys. We've got Snow and Vikings with Kaldheim. We're not gonna get away from it, the Harry Potter set of Strixhaven. I'm a believer that it's not gonna be quite like that. I think it's gonna be a little bit more, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be quite like people think, but we have the college, the university, school set, whatever. We have the Dungeons and Dragons tie-in set, and then we're returning to Innistrad with 2 sets. So there you go. Those are the sets. What are you guys most excited about? Again, I'm most excited for Strixhaven just because I know the least about it. That's very consistent for me. If I don't know what's going on, then I'm excited about it. And I have no clue what's going on with Strixhaven. I don't know what the themes are going to be. I don't know what the set's going to look like. I don't know what the art style is going to look like. I don't know anything that's going to happen. So Strixhaven has me the most excited just because I know the least about it and I want to know more about it. So that's me. I think the first 2 sets are the ones I'm most excited about. Kaldheim and Strixhaven, because Kaldheim seems cool too. I mean, it's another real world tie-in, but I don't know, Kaldheim seems pretty fun. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're most excited about. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.